of the 10 most common diseases that we have in the United States, one of them is osteoporosis. And it is the #1 most poorly treated, mistreated disease there is. I'm here to tell you why. Hope you understand it. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I passed out an outline, sort of like an agenda, and at the top you will see basically definitions. I'm going to explain the tests that they use in medicine so you understand what the test means. I want to tell you what they actually are doing for osteoporosis and why most of it is wrong. Well, let's take definitions. #1, a nutrient is something that your body can assimilate and absorb. It contributes to the growth and the function of the human body. A drug does nothing with it like that. It only interferes with processes, whether they're going out of control or not. So a drug is an interference factor. It never gets absorbed into the body. If it were to be absorbed into the body, they would not be able to patent it. It would be an organic material, and they couldn't use it as a nutrient. Now, there's about 7 different types of bones, all the way from different types in your toes and your ankles, which Janice knows all about. And it goes even teeth. Even teeth can be classified as bones. So everything I speak about tonight has to do with everything in your skeletal system from head to toe. Right? So let's explain the test itself. First, let's take a look. Excuse me for turning my back. It's not allowed, but here we have something that resembles, let's say, a bone. This is and you'll notice that I can put a lot of stress on this bone, right? Correctly. And it doesn't have any strength at all. That's not the way a bone is built. Bone is built with marrow on the inside, so when you press it, it bounces back. Okay, so let us understand that the test that they use treats this, not this. Because your bones have 40 different nutrients in them, and guess what is the thing that you use the most? Anybody say it? Calcium, right? Biggest mistake you could make. Your bones, this is calcium. Calcium is only good in compression. It has no strength at all. It cracks, it breaks, it's brittle, it's chalk. So, if bones are fracturing, it's usually because they can't bend, they snap. Okay, so calcium actually can work against you. So they found out all the differences. One of the things they did wrong is they tell you to take a lot of it. More than your body ever can absorb. And why? Because they're using the type that's absorbed at about 5%. The other 95%, guess what it does? Plaques up your brain, your heart, your blood vessel, gives you kidney stones, gallstone, you name it. You've got to have rocks in your head in order to think that way. But they're not thinking. This is part of the problem. They're thinking about this. They're not thinking about this. So what does the scan do? I take this. Let's get rid of the marrow, because that's the other 40-some-odd ingredient. What a DEXA scan does is it basically shines photons, right? Let's say it's a flashlight. And they shine it through here, and they get a picture. And that tells you the density of your bones, or how many minerals are in the bones that refract the light. Now, what they think is I can take a coat of calcium, which is represented by this little sleeve of plastic on the outside, and guess what? There's less light coming through, so the bones must be stronger. Are they stronger? Really? No. This way, yes. This way, no. Okay, so your bones are not strong. The fact of the matter is, the things that they're talking about in terms of reversing osteoporosis, calcium, vitamin D, all they will do is, they're very good, incidentally, for the spine. But in the long bones, they're very poor for flexion. And flexibility is more important than compressive strength, unless you're a person whose spine is getting fractures and you're collapsing like 2 inches in a couple of days. But primarily, the test that they're doing is engineering-wise, technically, totally inadequate. Then what do they do now? In order to make you pass the test, what they do is they give you something called Boniva, or whatever it is that Sally Field uses. They give you that test. And what does that do? That only preserves old bones. It prevents the reconstruction of new bone. And you know what old bone is? Sand. Not a good idea. Now, however, if you look at your list, I wrote on the bottom somebody that you can use for reference. If you look up John Lee, MD, he will tell you all you need to know about osteoporosis in a 50-minute video, plus all your female hormones and male hormones. He covered a lot of territory in about 40 minutes on a tape. You should listen to him. He has a lot of important things to say, more than we can say here in 6 minutes at this point. I got another minute to go. But let me tell you something. I can prove what I'm saying is right. And here I have something right here. Anybody is free to look at it. That's a picture of a scan. It's my wife's scan. She has cancer. She has this, that, and the other thing. Her bones have increased on a T-score up to 12% more in 3 years. Somebody is supposed to be losing bone. Use other things than what the doctor is telling you, and you don't have to worry about osteoporosis.